Hi and welcome to this YouTube video about the demo Create a Foundry project. Now I have a little project of my own which is going to be looking a bit like this. So my idea with these YouTube videos are making or creating something for beginners with Foundry in this case. By the way, I'm David Fitzpatrick. Thank you for watching on the other side of the screen. So what I'm going to do today is create Microsoft Foundry, in which we're going to create a project, deploy a model, open playground, and ask your first questions. Well, this video is just the Foundry and how to get there. So here we are. We have to go to ai.azure.com. Yes. And then you're probably going to think, hey, where do I need to go? It's a little bit confusing, but anywhere with create project is fine. Or maybe you get a thing in the beginning saying, let's create a project. Let's say the team really wants you to create a project. So go to create project. If you have this, just click on advanced options. And I'm going to leave it like this. I can change the project name, or maybe it's better if I don't. So I say Dave's Special Projects X or something. And then it's going to create a Foundry resource as well, which is like the umbrella with VNets that you need. Any access that you need is there. Then it's in Sweden Central. That's the region. And the region is Azure, like a big data center, multiple data centers that are in a place. You would pick something that is either has availability for the model that you want, or which is closer by, or anything else like that. So it picked Sweden Central for me, but I'll list out a few others that you can. The resource group is going to create a new resource group anyway. That's what it says here, new. However, don't think, hey, well, what does that mean? I can just let it go. However, what's going to happen, by the way, I'm going to create a different resource group, project X for AI. That's actually the place that Azure puts the resources in. So when you have a resource, it puts it in a resource group. And in this case, virtual machines, not in this case, it can be virtual machines, but it can also, in this case, be the project and the resource. So if I could go create, it is going to do all kinds of stuff. I think sometimes what can happen is it's going to redirect you to the portal, and then you have to create the project, the resource group yourself. So I've had that happen sometimes, and I think it's got to do with a slider that we had, create extra resources, which I left on there because that's probably going to be your experience, but that is for monitoring and everything. And it's already there. Yes. So I'm not going to do agents yet. I just want to show you my resource, if it's there. Let me just see if I see anything here. Let me just refresh the page. And there we have the project. And this is basically where it happens and where I can see my things. So I'm not going to go further than this. I'm going to just show you in the portal in Azure what it created. So I'm going to go to my resource groups, and here in my resource group, I have project for AX, and look, it's created all kinds of resources here. The most important is the Foundry and the, what else? The Foundry project that we need, and the Foundry is the resource, my apologies. And this is the Foundry project. That's there. And then I have application insights, log analytics for monitoring. Yeah, nothing special. We don't really need to go in depth about that. And that was the Foundry project. Of course, we're going to go on with this series. And if you were just wondering how to create a Foundry project, this is it. See you in the next YouTube video.